Hey, everybody. Kind of did a message out to people because this is something that I really, yeah, and it's really early, but this is a really important message that I need to really get out. Y'all got me raw, don't have no makeup. I've been on the phone all morning, and after this uploads, I'm going to leave a video in this timeline. I do want to share that this is a not for kids. So if you have your kids around, please don't let them hear this. Put on earphones, whatever. I've been on the phone all morning with a company that's working through the federal government to do, how can I say it, payouts to individuals that have been poisoned by the federal government. As some of you guys know, I am originally from Arizona, and I'm from the northern state of Arizona. I would say I'm from Tucson, but I grew up in Flagstaff, Arizona. And hello, how are you? Thank you for showing up. I will not be talking a lot through this because I really need to stay focused and really need to help. And hopefully, I would like you guys to share this to other people because this is going to, hi, everybody. This is going to help some of you guys that don't really even understand what's going on. A few years ago, me and my there was a service with me and my cousin and my family members. One of our family members had passed away. My aunt pulled me aside. She basically tells me that I need to have a conversation with you. And this conversation, and I'm probably going to come on a lot. Hi, everybody. I thank you for coming on. Sorry, I'm looking rough, but I've been on the phone all morning. And this is going on with our federal government. And this is not a he say, she said. This is a personal experience of mine, of our family, of many people that lived in the Arizona area, Nevada area, and New Mexico area. The interesting thing is I just got off the phone. A few years ago, me and my family were in a lawsuit, and the lawsuit was called Downwinders. This lawsuit has been going on for probably about 25 years. And it has taken many, 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 many years and many dedicated officials, dedicated people that have gone to the Supreme Court to make sure justice. The only reason I want to talk about it because this is not literally just, Arizona. This has happened all over the United States. So I really wanted to talk to you about, it's a case that our family has been in for over 20 years. And the case is called the Downwinders. When I finish this conversation with you, I will put a link in my bio just so you guys can get a little history of what's going on. Downwinders affected Nevada. It affected I'm talking about downwinders right now. I'm not gonna, I should have turned off the comments because I really need to talk about this. So I've been on the phone all morning talking to Downwinders, and what Downwinders is. Let me give you the kind of background of what happened in Downwinders. Downwinders in the mid to late 50s, the federal government uh, were doing test explosions with nuclear bombs. And the reason it's called Downwinders because when they would have these testing sites, they would try to judge which way the wind was going. And we all know you can't determine what nature does. So they were literally throwing poof in the sky. And a result of that, many people started having symptoms. Some women were having children that were had deformities. Women were getting breast cancer, men were getting cancer. Some of the men that worked on the Colorado River, a lot of those people that worked on the Colorado River for the Colorado Project, they were getting lung cancer, they were getting breast cancer. And after many years going to the Supreme Court, they finally got a judgment. And on this judgment, it was that they had to pay the family members that were poisoned by nuclear explosion. So with that said, let me talk about my story. So about 15 years ago, my father died of lung cancer. And what was so crazy about when I got the information, because I was the eldest of the family, I got all the information. So my aunts begins to tell me that there has been a class act. Well, what's so crazy is that I got off the phone today. I was talking to a lady that was Native American. And back then, they were putting Native Americans on poison land. That's where a lot of the reservations were. They were on poison land. Many people that worked on the Colorado River end up with cancer. On my father's side, my grandmother had 12 or 13 kids. 12 or 13 kids. As we stand right now, every one of the brothers but one in our family, which was a lot of men in the family. I think it was 8 of them. If I'm not, I may got my numbers wrong. I haven't had a chance to think about that, but I think it was 8 of them. Out of all of them is one that is alive. The rest of them died of some form of cancer. My father had lung cancer. My uncle died last year with bone cancer. Arthur died with a brain tumor. My grandmother died with a brain tumor. My cousin died with breast cancer. My grandmother's sister died with a brain tumor, and so on and so on and so on. I can go on. The list can go on and on and on. So I just got off the phone with about the lawsuit, and about I would say 2 to 3 years ago, we got a portion of the payout. And the reason I want to talk about it because this is still going on. And then when they changed the administration, since Trump has come on board, and I'm not political, I'm just telling you the story. they've changed the guidelines for the payout. And if any of you guys are from the Arizona, New Mexico, Las Vegas area, and you've had family members that have died from cancer of any type, you need to call the Downwinders. I don't know if I got their number. Let me see. You need to call to see if you qualify. They changed the lawsuit, and this is where the unfairity is. They changed the lawsuit, and this administration decided that anyone that is new to the lawsuit will get the full benefit of $100,000 for their family. Now, this is what's so crazy, and this is the world we live in. They poison you, and then there's a dollar amount on the sacrifice they're willing to make financially to poison you, because the overall benefit for them outweighs what they have to pay the victims of being poisoned by the federal government. Do you get what I'm saying? The people in the Downwinders were not poisoned by just anybody. They were poisoned by the federal government with nuclear bombs. And as you see this story, which I'm going to leave, you will find out that they were actually selling tickets to the citizens to watch it. And no, the citizens didn't know the danger of nuclear waste. And I just heard in Pittsburgh, so they were doing the test in Arizona, they were putting the waste in Pittsburgh. And so when I found out about it, the Downwinders Association sent me this folder about this thick. And yeah, it was about this thick, a folder, and it basically did an outline of all the places in the United States that's probably the grounds are contaminated. So I didn't even know what to think, because I didn't know that my father's cancer was tied to Downwinders. And then what I started realizing, all the men on my grandmother's side in their family were all dying of some type of cancer. And yeah, it would be it'd be coincidental if it was just maybe one, maybe two, but it was 8. Like you're talking about a large amount. And then, my grandmother passed away probably when I was like 13 or 14. She had a brain tumor. And, you just keep down the line, just keep going. And so I just really feel like I have a platform, and I'm able to get out to America. I can get out to anyone that comes. This comes on your For You page. You can understand how devastating this is, because since they changed out, well, number one, if you are part of the Downwinders, I would not deal with the lawyers, because the lawyers, not only did we only got a portion. We only got a portion of the lawsuit. We had to pay lawyer fees. And our lawyer, I'm just going to say, and I will put his name in my timeline. I just got to find that paperwork. But they're nefarious, because they make each of us pay a percentage for a lawsuit that it's already been settled. They already taken responsibility that they did poison our parents, that they did poison many people. And there are people that that wherever there's a nuclear spill, it's decades before that land is healthy to live on or farm on. And guess what? There are Native Americans that were put, like, forced into reservations on contaminated land. This is not just about Native Americans. A lot of people that worked the Colorado River, that did the groundwork, that did the most dangerous work, were minorities. The most dangerous work, they didn't. It was minorities. It was Native Americans. It was blacks. It was Hispanic. And these people were poisoned. These people, lives were taking, their quality of life. And so I'm going to be talking about this a little bit in the next few weeks, because I think awareness and knowledge is powerful. When I put that link in the bio, you guys can come back to this and get that link, and it will give you an understanding about what is going on. One of the ladies that I have been talking to over the last 4 years about the Downwinders situation, and if any of you guys are from Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, the small town Snowflake, Page, all those little small towns in the northern parts, the Four Corners, you guys need to call Downwinders. I will put that number in the comment box, and I will also put the video so you can get more history on it. And the lady that I've been working with for about 4 years, she has been fighting for the citizens of Arizona for 20 years. And she has literally told me that she has seen whole families die from some type of cancer, children dying of deformities. And I think that we need to speak out. I think we need to talk about it. I think if you are from the northern part of the hemisphere, I think it was even parts of California, these people literally got contaminated. And so these may be your grandparents, these may be your parents, it depends on your age. Like my uncles, like I have no more uncles from that side of the family. I have no more uncles. They all like passed away because they were working on the Colorado River, and they were living in that area, and the explosion was like 50 miles away from the Colorado River. So, and if I'm not mistaken, I think it was 50 miles. I'm not quite sure. But, you'll see when I send you the video, you'll get kind of an understanding of what's going on. And I think we need to begin to fight for our rights as minorities, period. And they have, what just happened to Ohio when the train crashed. Do you think those people got any compensation? Do you think those people, what's going to happen, 10 years down the road? What's going to happen to them? What's going to happen to their children? What's going to happen to their lives? And what got me when they sent me the pamphlet about the Downwinders, they literally gave me a map of all the places in the United States that have been poisoned The water's been poisoned. The land has been poisoned by nuclear waste that was hid under the ground. It's diabolical, you guys. It's diabolical. And you have to understand that once there's a contamination, it's in the food. It's in like why you think diseases and cancer is help, we thinking is, or like, it's your mindset. It's no, you've been poisoned. It's poisoned. And so if you really think about it, and I want to thank you guys for showing up, showing out. I'm not answering anybody right now because of the fact this is an urgent call to, and the reason I felt that I needed, it is my responsibility with my channel, not only for my family, but for the people that don't know what's wrong with their family members. Like, what's going on? Why did I lose so many family members with cancer? It's not a coincidence. It's not just, just so happened what they ate. It's not because, they did this. No. Look at where you're looking and start looking it up. Start looking it up. Because they would far rather do a payout than to change the behaviors of what they're doing to American people by poisoning their families, and this goes on and on and on in your lineage. And it's so iconic that a lot of people that were poisoned, and there were some white people too, but iconically, many of them were indigenous. Many of them were, the lady told me today that is a shame because she's watching Native Americans. They're dropping like flies from being poisoned because they put the reservation over poisoned land. So Native Americans are thinking that they're giving their land, they're getting their land. No, you know what they're doing? They're giving them contaminated land. Gifting them contaminated land. That's why it's so important to know your history. And when I put this tape in, and you must see it in order to believe it. I mean, it's very much, you got interviews, and if you keep looking and keep going down, you're going to have interviews of people trying to tell them like something is not right. Why is my kid coming out like this? Why is my kid severely deformed? Why is this happening? Why do I have breast cancer? Why do I have ovarian cancer? My cousin died of breast cancer. My auntie died of brain tumor. My grandmother died of brain tumor. Think about it. All these people just like getting cancer. And so it is my responsibility as a content creator to share this with you guys, to let you know. And if you know anybody in your family that has some form of cancer, just like I talk about the point of injury, you got to figure out where that cancer is coming from. You got to start thinking about, because like when they sent that paperwork to me, I was shocked. I was literally shocked. The reason I was shocked, because I was just like, dang, that's not just Arizona. It's back east. It's in the north. It's like this whole area. It's all over. It's spotty. The water very contaminated. But as we watch hospitals by the thousands going up, because pharmaceutical, they're loving the fact that these people have been poisoned, because cancer is a multi-million-dollar business. But they never tell you the reason that they were prepared for this, because they knew they had poisoned the grounds. They knew that they had did something. And even like when Einstein was told about nuclear testing back in the day, I respect Einstein. I wish I lived in his time. I wish I could have been tutored. I wish I could have been shadowed him. I love Einstein, and Einstein did not want to touch nuclear products. He didn't want to touch it because he knew it was dangerous. It was dangerous for humanity. And now we're seeing the effects because I am watching. Watch my grandmothers, all the men in her family get cancer. All the men, all her sons got cancer. She died of cancer. You can't make that up. How can you make that up? And I kid you not, my uncle died last year. He was battling cancer for way over 20 years. It was in his blood, it was in his bones. It was like the fact that he lived as long as he did was a miracle. But he lost his battle last year. His wife is still grieving. My dad was the second of the brothers. It's crazy. Then his younger brother died. And so on and so on. And as I talk to these people in these offices and they tell me the numbers, you can't make that up. You can't make that up. That's like a Tulsa, Oklahoma, when they burned a whole city and killed hundreds of people. Now it's the most deadly, like cancer, because they put that cancer into your DNA. They put that cancer into your gene pool. All because of progress and money. They would far rather make the money. The lawsuit is the casualty of making billions of dollars off of poisoning a few million. That's crazy to me. And you best believe I will talk about this. And this is what got me on it, because and I'm gonna put that lawyer's name in there too. So my family came to me, and my aunt said, I need you to do this for our descendants. So my dad had just recently passed away, so they gave me the baton. I started doing my due diligence. I didn't choose the lawyer because I wasn't going to go by a lawyer, but my brother wanted to do that. So the lawyer, not only did he fail us as a family, he actually told me, I will get back in touch with you because I was only getting half of the lawsuit, and he said, I will get back to you. Then we had a change of administrations, and then the next thing I know, they haven't signed the release. That took like 2 years. It took the lawyer a year, and in fact, the lawyer never got in touch with me. What happened is I was waiting, and I finally just went, I haven't heard from the lawyer, so I called his office, and he was backtracking, all like, I'm sorry to whatever, and he literally did our family wrong. So now what's happening with us, we didn't get a full payout, and they're not going to pay us. But if you are a victim of the downwinders and somebody in your family, it could be your grandfather, it can be your father, it could be an uncle. If you are a descendant of downwinders, you will get a payout. You will get the full amount. The people, and this is for the people that hit, I don't care if you got $1. If you got $1 from downwinders, you will not fall up under this lawsuit. Is it fair? No, it's not fair. But if you want to do something about it, you need to go to the federal government. You need to start writing letters to our congressmen. You need to start writing letters to our president, because he's the one that made the order, you know, and you know he ain't gonna pay no reparations. You know that ain't gonna happen, if you get what I'm saying. So I hope this finds you guys well. I want you to please look at, like, this is going to take a little bit to load, but I will put all the information of the video you really need to see so you can get some understanding. And please, you guys, if you know someone that's from Arizona, if you know someone that's from New Mexico, if you know someone that is from Nevada, please do send this to them and like and follow this so it can show up in the, you will help it come up in the algorithm, because nobody's talking about this. And I've been dealing with this for about, I would say, I've been in Texas 11 years. I've been dealing with this probably for about 16 years. I didn't even know time went so fast. So I've been dealing with this about 16 years. I've been getting the runaround probably for the last, how can I say it? Probably the last 8 years. 8 years. And like, because we keep changing administrations, and each time they change what they're going to do. So if you know anybody, in those places, please do. If you know anybody in Pittsburgh, please let them know about the Downwinders. And I will put the Downwinders number and everything in the comment box. I will put everything that you need. So it was so good talking to you today. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for showing up. I know it's early, but I just got off that long phone call and I was miffed. And I'm going to continue to bring awareness to the Downwinders. You can Google Downwinders. If you Google Downwinders, you'll get a lot of, and they don't want to talk about it because they poisoned millions of Americans. They poisoned the land, they poisoned their food, they poisoned the people. And so, of course, they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to talk about it because the federal government did that. It was no random person. It was the federal government. They were testing bombs and having people pay to look at the poison. And some people were just working. They were working. And actually the explosion happened literally just miles away from Colorado. So y'all need to think about that. If you're in Colorado and you've had loved ones die of cancer, and your parent died of cancer, your grandparents died of cancer, you can receive a payout. Make sure you follow through. And I wouldn't go through a lawyer. Just call them. I'm going to leave the number so you can go straight to the horse's mouth and not deal with these fools. Because and I'm going to tell you, do not pay a lawyer. Do not give them a percentage, because they owe you that money. Not one dime should go back to them for what they've done to your family. Period. And so I'm going to sign off and Hi everybody. I'm out, but when this uploads, please look at it. I will have all the information in the comment box. You have a good day. Bye bye.